श्रीरतिराजाय विवेकानन्द सूरये सच्चित् सुख स्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे.
My name is Kartik. One day in England, Swami Vivekananda, an English gentleman, and Miss Mueller were walking on a field when they saw a bull charging at them. The English gentleman ran away to get to a safe place. Miss Mueller tripped and fell on the ground when she was trying to get to safety. Swami Vivekananda went in front of the bull to save Miss Mueller. The bull came close to him and stopped. Fortunately for us, the bull went away peacefully without hurting Swamiji. The people around Swamiji were very surprised with his behavior. I like this story because it shows how Swami Vivekananda was so brave. He didn't care about his own safety. He was ready to protect his companions at any cost, even if it meant laying down his own life. I really admire bravery because I think bravery helps us conquer our fears, stand up to bullies, and get over obstacles. Swami Vivekananda insisted fearlessness and showed us how to love fearlessly.
Namaste, my name is Vivek. As we heard from our previous presenter, the story of Swamiji and the bull, I would like to share two of his qualities. First is humor. Swamiji had good humor and made everyone around him happy. There was always an atmosphere of joy in his presence. After the incident, Mrs. Muller asked how he had the courage to face the bull. Swamiji jokingly said, I was doing mathematical calculation on how far the bull would toss me. The next quality I see is dependence on God. Swamiji went on to mention that he had touched the feet of God and was not afraid. Swamiji was totally dependent on Sri Ramakrishna and knew that Thakur would protect him and take care of his welfare. In Sanskrit, that is Kshema. Similar to this, we find numerous incidents in his life when Swamiji would surrender to God and Sri Ramakrishna protected him in every way possible, without fail. Thank you and Hari Om.
Namaste. In the bull story that was said earlier, Swamiji was brave, humorous, showed humility, and was compassionate. Swamiji was so compassionate. He stood in front of the bull, arms folded. He knew that anything could happen, so he was calculating how far the bull would throw him. Knowing this, he still put others first and would do anything to help someone, even risk his own life for someone else's. Swamiji was very kind. He had a warm-blooded heart. I can be as compassionate by always helping too. For example, at Vidyapeeth celebrations. After Prasad, my parents always volunteered to help clean up. I can do the same by helping the aunties clean up the food and helping the uncles put away the chairs, tables, and more. Thank you.
Be brave, be strong, be fearless. Swami Vivekananda.
It is a great work to bring this world into a spirit of sympathy with each other. Swami Vivekananda.
What we want is harmony, not one-sided development. What we really want is head and heart combined. Swami Vivekananda.
Namaste. My name is Kabir. I like this quote by Swami Vivekananda. Concentration is an essence of all knowledge. Nothing can be done without it. 99% of thought force is wasted by the ordinary human being. Therefore, he is committing constant blunders. The trained mind never makes a mistake. This quote reminds me of the importance of concentration in everything I do. As I start high school, I'm going to try and focus more on everything I do, attending classes, doing homework, and reciting prayers. I don't want to waste 99% of my energy on making mistakes. I want to develop mental strength to withstand all the distractions that could prevent me from reaching my goals, like social media. I pray to Sri Ramakrishna to bless me with this good concentration. Thank you and Hari Om.
Swami Vivekananda inspires me as he taught us to do service as worship to God. He talked about doing service to the poor and the needy for the advancement of society. He used to say, Jiva is Shiva. He always told people to question themselves, their ideas, and their beliefs. Swami Vivekananda's views on perseverance teaches us to be brave and keep on going when times are hard. Swami Vivekananda's life since birth was full of struggle and hard work. He worked for the betterment of humanity selflessly, taking on no benefit himself. His speech in the Chicago Parliament of Religions gave us the message not to fight between ourselves and that all religions give the same message of peace, harmony, and God. His vision of a better world has encouraged millions to think and act, not just for themselves, but for all of humanity, selflessly. Swami Vivekananda is an inspiration for not just me, but for so many people all around the world. He was particularly inspiring for me because of his dynamic spiritual approach. He had practiced all the yogas in his life. He did public service and created the Ramakrishna mission to serve the needy, which symbolized Karma Yoga. He was exceptionally good at meditation since his childhood and continued it throughout his life. His interpretation of Raja Yoga gave new meaning to the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali and proposed to use the mind to observe our inner self. He had intense devotion or bhakti for his guru, Sri Ramakrishna. He mastered Vedanta and emphasized the all-pervasive nature of reality and the divinity of man. He achieved self-realization and merged into the absolute, the ultimate fructification of Jnana Yoga. His spiritual motto was to work for one's own salvation and for the welfare of the world. His message was truly visionary and ahead of his time. The mark he left on the world will not be forgotten, and he will be remembered for his contributions of interfaith harmony and true spirituality to mankind.
Namaste. My name is Adya Mishra Rai, and today I'm going to talk about how I feel inspired by Swami Vivekananda. I am inspired by Swami Vivekananda to be a better person. He changed the world around him in just under 40 years. He wouldn't believe what others said to him without going ahead and testing it for himself. We can see this when he was a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. Once Ramakrishna claimed he was so allergic to money he couldn't bear its touch. In order to test him, Swami Vivekananda placed a coin under his mattress. When Ramakrishna sat on it, he began to experience a stinging pain, grew restless, and started to cry out. He raised the mattress, saw the coin, and demanded to know who put it there. When Vivekananda claimed that he did it just to test Thakur's claim, Ramakrishna was pleased and said, "You are right, Narayan. Never believe anything without testing it first." There is another example of this when he was a child, barely 8 years old. He used to visit a friend of his whose family owned a champak tree. The flowers of the champak tree were a favorite of Narayan and were said to be liked by Shiva. This tree was Narayan's favorite, and he loved to dangle from the branches of it. One day, when Narayan was swinging from the tree, the old grandfather of the house recognized his voice and approached him. The old man was afraid that Narayan might fall and hurt himself, or he might lose some of his precious champak flowers. He called Narayan down and asked him not to climb the tree again. "Why?" Narayan asked. "Because," the old man said, "a Brahma Daitya, a ghost of Brahman, lives in that tree and will break your neck if you climb it again." Narayan said nothing and simply nodded, and the old man went away, smiling in victory. As soon as he had gone a distance, Narayan climbed the tree again and was in his former position. His friend, who was there all along, cried out, "Narayan, the Brahmaditya is sure to catch you and break your neck." Narayan laughed and said, "What a silly fellow you are. If the old grandfather's story was true, my neck would have been broken long ago." What we can learn from Swami Vivekananda is to never believe anything just because someone says so, without going and testing it first.
Greetings everyone. My name is Aditi Ganguly. I will be telling you about what inspires me the most about Swami Vivekananda. I have read about the stories of many great men and women. Amongst those, Swami Vivekananda has really made a strong impression in my mind. While Swamiji grew up as a naughty child, he was still a ringleader amongst his friends due to his noble qualities. His life took an amazing turn after meeting Sri Ramakrishna, and he went on to become a great spiritual leader who shook the world with his thoughts and speech. There are many stories in his life that I would love to speak about, but due to the short time, I will tell you a wonderful story that made great impact on me. When Swamiji was in the United States during his World Parliament of Religion tour, he once came across some boys who were standing on a bridge trying to shoot eggshells that were floating on the river. The eggshells were jumping up and down, and due to this, they always missed the target with the guns. The kids noticed that Swamiji was quietly watching them. They asked him, "Why are you watching us? Do you think you can be better than us?" Swamiji said, "I will try." The boy said, "It is not so easy as you think." Then Swamiji took the gun and aimed at the eggshell. He focused for a few minutes and then fired the gun. He fired 12 shots, and every time he hit the eggshells. The boys were surprised and asked him, "How could he do that?" Swamiji laughed and said, "Whatever you're doing, put your whole mind in it. So I realized that success in anything comes only with focus and dedication. This is necessary not just for studies, but even in simple household chores again." Swamiji throughout his life gave similar amazing examples of how he could do difficult things with the power of concentration. In the end, I will mention a line by Swamiji that inspires me the most. Everything is easy when you're busy, but nothing is easy when you're lazy. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Namaste. My name is Advik Mishra Rai, and today I will talk to you about how I feel inspired by Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was a great visionary, a brilliant orator, a melodious singer, a prolific writer, and an all-around genius. He was an intellectual of great prowess who'd worked wonders in spirituality as easily as a computer performs calculations. He changed the world around him wholly for the better in a lifespan of less than 40 years. Millions of people live their daily lives according to his teachings, and he inspires me in many ways. For example, Swami Vivekananda inspires me to take pride in my Indian heritage. He returned to India from America in January of 1897. In response to the enthusiastic welcome that he received everywhere, he delivered a series of lectures in different parts of India, which created a great stir all over the country. Through these inspiring, profoundly significant lectures, Swamiji attempted to do the following: to rouse the religious consciousness of the people and create in them pride in their cultural heritage, to bring about unification of Hinduism by pointing out the common basis of its sects, to focus the attention of educated people on the plight of the downtrodden masses, and to expound his plan for their upliftment by the application of the principles of practical Vedanta. Swami Vivekananda also inspires me to have good faith in myself, to believe that I can achieve the impossible. Some quotes on strength from Swamiji are: "You must not say that you are weak. How do you know what possibilities lie behind that degradation on the surface? You know but little of what is inside you, for behind you is the ocean of infinite power and blessedness. Stand up, be bold, be strong. Take the whole responsibility on your own shoulders, and know that you are the creator of your life, of your own destiny. All the strength and succor you want is within yourself." His speech and writings motivated an entire generation of freedom fighters and revolutionaries. Swamiji was one of the driving forces behind the independence of India. These encouraging quotes really inspire me and countless others to believe in themselves. All the strength that my life needs to me is within myself. I simply have to focus on accessing it. Swami Vivekananda also inspires me to build my character and knowledge as much as possible in my life. Some of his quotes of education include, "Education is not the amount of information that we put into your brain and runs riot there, undigested all your life. We must have life building, man-making, character-making assimilation of ideas. If you have assimilated 5 ideas and made them your life and character, you have more education than any man who has got by heart a whole library. As long as I live, so do I learn." Swamiji's quotes inspire me to go about my life with one goal: build my character as much as possible. The education of a person only by facts about the world is nothing compared to being taught life lessons and assimilating ideas into yourself. Swami Vivekananda inspires me to be loving towards every being that I meet in life. Vivekananda's quotes on the proper treatment of others are, "Love is the only law of life. He who loves lives. He who is selfish is dying. Therefore, love for love's sake, because it is the law of life, just as you breathe to live." We must not look down with contempt on others. All of us are going towards the same goal. All differences in this world are of degree and not of kind, because oneness is the secret of everything. Love opens the most impossible gates. Love is the gate to all of the secrets of the universe. Every step that has been really gained in the world has been gained by love. People who have a loving attitude towards everyone they meet are destined to obtain inner peace. Swamiji is trying to convey in these quotes that unconditional love is the key for a happy life. What Vivekananda once said inspires me to be loving towards everyone I meet in my life. As we can see, the brilliant Swami Vivekananda was a spiritual genius of commanding intellect and power, whose life continues to influence us long after his death. It was his life's mission to spread the lofty ideas of Vedanta around the world, and the effects of his actions are still felt today. We all try our best to live up to the ideals he set for all of us. Thank you.
I feel most inspired about the fact that Swamiji told us not to accept anything without testing. I would like to read 2 pages from a book, The Story of Vivekananda. The title of the chapter is Don't Accept Without Testing. This story is from his childhood days when he was called Bille. Don't accept anything without testing. Bille always wanted to test the truth of what he was told. He could not believe anything because someone said it was true. Bille and his friends often used to play on a big tree in a neighbor's garden. Bille would climb high up in the tree. Sometimes he would hang from one of the branches and swing back and forth, holding on his knees. The boys would shout out to each other. They made a lot of noise. The old grandfather of the house did not like so much noise. One day he went out and shook his fist at Bille. "Don't climb that tree anymore," he said. "Don't you know that it's haunted? There is a ghost in that tree. It will grab you by the neck and kill you." Bille quietly listened to the old man and said nothing in reply. But as soon as the men went back into the house, Bille began to climb the tree. One of the boys said, "Oh, Bille, don't climb the tree anymore. That ghost will catch you by the neck." That is what the old man said. "Please come down, Bille, let us go home." Bille laughed and said, "Don't be a donkey. How many times have I climbed this tree? You know that if a ghost lived in it, he would have caught me long ago. When Billy grew up, he always told people, have no fear, ask questions and find out the truth for yourself. Never believe anything unless you know it's true. Be strong and fearless. Arise, awake, and not stop till the goal is reached.
Swamiji had many brilliant characteristics that defined him as a loving, selfless, strong monk of the Ramakrishna order. However, one that sticks out to me is his practice of the 3 Ps: patience, perseverance, and purity, or more specifically, perseverance. Perseverance is important in my life, and Swamiji's practice of perseverance inspires me. Swamiji's time in the Parliament of Religions is a perfect example. He encountered lots of discrimination during his time in America. People weren't used to seeing diversity. However, Swamiji overcame this discrimination through perseverance and went on to stun the world and change their outlook on foreigners with his awe-inspiring introduction, Sisters and Brothers of America. This is just one instance of Swamiji's unfailing perseverance in his life. In my life, I have to do things like playing the violin and doing schoolwork. At times, I enjoy these tasks, and at other times, not so much. However, regardless of my enjoyment of these tasks, I complete them with a good attitude and put in effort, so I can persevere towards my goal in the future. Or at least I try to. Sometimes I don't have a good attitude and I don't put in the necessary effort for my tasks, and those days are the days that I don't improve. I look back on these days and realize that I didn't think about anyone but myself and I did not persevere towards anything. You can't just persevere towards a goal, you must also offer the work done in the process to God. This is how Swamiji's values affect my life. Other characteristics of Swamiji that stick out to me are his musical talents. He would frequently play music and sing songs for Sri Ramakrishna and the other disciples. They would continuously marvel over his playing talent and his beautiful voice. I am a musician and I am inspired constantly by his achievements. It amazes me how he was so versatile and he was good at everything. These are just a few of the innumerable qualities and values of Swamiji that made him the soldier of Thakur that he was, and how they have played a role in my life.
Swami Vivekananda. You may have heard of him before. Swami Vivekananda, originally known as Narendra Datta, was born on January 12, 1863. In only 20 years, he introduced Hindu beliefs and culture to the Western world, revolutionizing new ideas in religion and thought. In September of 1883, Vivekananda gave a speech representing India and Hinduism in the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago, United States. With his famous Sisters and Brothers of America, Vivekananda became a leading ambassador for Hindu culture and set the stage for the mingling of all cultures and religions in the future. Swami Vivekananda, or Naren, was known for many things. His bravery was well known and widespread, from his encounter as a child with the deadly snake to his fearlessness to travel to America. Naren's witty personality and his strong concentration allowed him to succeed educationally and influence people around him. But what I enjoy the most about Vivekananda, which sometimes gets overlooked, is his curiosity toward everything. Naren's concentration and passion came from his curiosity to learn about a topic and really understand how it works. From questioning authority to questioning religion, Vivekananda's passion to understand everything made him who he was, in my opinion. In early 1882, Vivekananda asked a simple but dangerous question. Discussing with numerous swamis and religious leaders, he only asked, "Have you seen God?" Now remember, there wasn't an internet during this period, and to question a religion that went unquestioned for thousands of years was huge. It was his curiosity for understanding religion that led him to take such a brave move. After finding an answer with Guru Ramakrishna, the rest has quickly become history. Vivekananda's curiosity and passion for understanding religion has actually later evolved to successfully sharing the inquisitiveness into his teachings. 7 years ago from today, in 2013, Swami A from the Vedanta Center of Greater Washington, D.C., gifted me this book, What Religion Is, by Vivekananda himself. Now, reading over this book for the last few years has really allowed me to explore his thoughts and his ideas. These works of literature really shows his clarity and comprehensiveness, which best explains the ideas that Vivekananda once had and his passion to share those works with others. Now, while the 4th of July is this day of celebration for Western culture, it is also a day to honor and recognize Vivekananda's efforts in modern Hindu culture and religion.
I feel inspired by Swami Vivekananda to not give up on anything and keep persisting. He is a huge inspiration for love and compassion. Many of his speeches, writings, and quotes inspire me to consistently apply his message of hard work, perseverance, love, and compassion in my life. His very powerful message can be learned from the quote, "Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached." He also said, if you have infinite patience and perseverance, success is bound to come. No mistake in that. And the only way is love and sympathy. The only worship is love. One way these messages and quotes inspired me is in my school life and class projects. I have to work on many group projects in my school, and Swamiji's messages and quotes inspire me to not give up and keep working hard on those big projects which involve a lot of research and group discussion. Swamiji's quotes inspire me to be a compassionate person when kids at my school needed help with work. These quotes also inspired me to be thoughtful of people who need help, like when someone in my school was being bullied for having a lower grade than others and to help them face their challenges. I learned from Swamiji to stand strong for myself and others, and be kind, caring, and compassionate towards everyone.
Swami Vivekananda is a great inspiration for millions of people, including youths and kids. Swami Vivekananda is also an inspiration for me to become a better person in so many ways. Most importantly, Swamiji inspires me to persist and focus on my goal. His life and words made me understand that no matter how difficult a task is, if I put my heart and mind to it, I'll be able to complete it successfully. Swamiji once said, take up one idea, make that one idea your life, think of it, dream of it, live on that idea. Let the brain, muscles, every nerves, every part of your body be full of that idea, and just leave every other idea alone. This is the way to success. Swamiji's words also inspired me to face my problems with courage. Everyone faces trouble in life, no matter where they go or what they do. And running away never solves any problems. Swamiji's words gave me courage to face troubles and deal with them instead of avoiding them. Swamiji also was strongly for equality of all and said that we should try to understand a person by his actions and not by his race, religion, or money. Swamiji said that the greatest religion is to be true to your own nature. He taught us the value and how to respect people based on their actions and thoughts. We are very blessed to have Swamiji guidance and inspiration in our lives to do good in the world. Thank you very much. Namaste.
In our fast-paced, technology-driven world, we often struggle to find time for the things that are important to us. Perhaps this is because we cannot concentrate and focus on the tasks that we need to accomplish. Sometimes we use digital tools to keep us productive, but at the end of the day, it's our mindset that still remains the same. This is where the timeless teachings of Swami Vivekananda come in. A man that lived for less than 40 years created enough impact in his lifetime that his teachings are still being taught to this day and are changing the lives of hundreds of millions of people at every corner of the earth. So how did he do this? How was he so productive in such a small span of time? Swamiji often attributed his ability to make change to a unique power, the ability to focus his mind on any given task. His prowess in mastering his mind was so great that he was able to memorize the content of an entire book simply by reading it once. How can we learn this? After all, Swami is an example of what all of us can aspire to be. Swamiji was just like us. Swamiji believed that things such as meditation, mindfulness, and service to those around you could help one's mind become stronger and more powerful, and thus allow all of us to help accomplish our goals, all while helping those around us. If we apply his teachings to our lives consciously, we can really hope to make a difference.
I admire Swami Vivekananda for various reasons, but first and foremost is his ability to never give up no matter how hard the circumstances are. He had to go to America, an unknown land. He had never been there before. He had never been outside of India before. And he was going to America. Everything would be different. And he knew that. But he knew he had to do it. He was scared, but he didn't give up. He went to America, and in the Parliament of Religions, he wanted to speak. He couldn't. He was a couple months late, and so he couldn't get credentials. So he went to Boston. He didn't give up. He went to Boston and met a professor. Luckily, he was related to the parliament, and so with the help of the professor, he was able to get credentials and speak at the Parliament of Religions. Now, meeting the professor may seem all luck, but if he had not believed that he could do it, he would have left already. He would have been far gone from America. He believed that he could do what Ramakrishna wanted. Why? Because he believed that Ramakrishna was helping him. Even after Ramakrishna died, Swamiji never thought that Ramakrishna was gone from him. He always believed that Ramakrishna was propelling him through everything that was happening, and he never thought otherwise. Everything that he did, he thought that was done by Ramakrishna, and so anything that he failed to do was failed for a reason. Sri Ramakrishna told him personally to speak at the parliament in a vision, and so he knew he had to do it, and he knew he would be able to do it. He had the conviction to try as hard as possible because he knew he had to succeed. If we all had that conviction for everything we did, we would be in such a high state. All of us would be Swami Vivekanandas. And I admire that part the most, because if we implement that one part of him, we can all become just like him. Thank you.
Swami Vivekananda was a revolutionary religious visionary who not only spread the message of Hinduism to the West, but inspired and invigorated an entire generation of Indian youth. In a time period where there was a lack of pride in Indian philosophy and ideals, Swami Vivekananda acted as a beacon for values of self-dependence, hard work, and service. Swami Vivekananda was born as Narendranath Datta on January 12, 1863, into an upper middle class in Calcutta. He had access to a Western-style education, which he used to effectively raise awareness across religious faiths. As a child, he was intrigued by his spirituality and was fascinated by monks and ascetics, and began thinking on how he could introduce social reforms to eliminate illiteracy and spread education to women and members of lower castes. He became the most influential disciple of Sri Ramakrishna and began internalizing his philosophy and teachings. He later was a trailblazer in spreading these philosophies to America in the Parliament of Religions in 1893. I have been inspired by Swami Vivekananda in my daily life by the examples that Swami Vivekananda has set by living a life of service for others and in devotion to God. His philosophy of taking an idea and pursuing it to the fullest extent is something that I try to apply to my daily life, whether it is for academics, extracurricular activities, or personal interests. His belief that God can be reached by hard work and self-dependence is a practice that I do my best to replicate and apply in my daily life. His quality of being brave, fearless, and steadfast in action is something that I have worked on integrating into my daily life, into everything that I do.
Hello, my name is Oishani Das, and today I am giving you a great speech about Swami Vivekananda. Have you ever wanted to learn about a great hero? Well, Swami Vivekananda was a great one. Every day a young lady named Bhuvaneshwari Devi used to pray to Lord Shiva for a son to sit on her lap. And one day, a son was born to her. His name was Naren. but his pet name was Billy. But now we shall call him Naren. So, like most boys, Naren liked to play wild game with all his friends. But mostly they played meditation. One day they sat down to meditate, so they played meditation. So while they played, every single one of them, except for Billy or Naren, every single one of them was opening their eyes, but except for Naren. One day they sat down to meditate and played meditation. It was the same thing all over again. And that day a black cobra came in and snuck into the room that they were meditating in. And then all Billy's friends ran away, calling, "Billy, Billy, come with us! Run away! There's a black cobra!" But Billy didn't hear anything. His mind was set on God and meditation. Now that Billy is older, we shall call him Narendranath. Narendranath studied Hume, Herbert Spencer, Plato, Spinoza, and a host of others. One day he had a very hard question in his mind. The question was, "Have you seen God? Where is he? How can I find him?" Not his mother or even his father could answer that question. So he had to find a wise guru for it. In India and all the places, he went to house knocking on each door, asking the same question. "Have you seen God? How can I talk to him? How can I find him?" But it was the same answer over and over again. "No, I have not." Then, one day, he had asked the same question to his friend. His friend said, "I cannot do that. I cannot give an answer to that question." But his friend gave him a suggestion. I'll give you a suggestion. Nobody here is wise enough. I don't think nobody here is wise enough. But I know someone that might be able to answer that question. He is Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So Narendranath went, and one day he had the chance to meet Sri Ramakrishna. So he went and he asked the same question. "Thakur, have you seen God? Where is he?" So Thakur's answer surprised him. Thakur said, "Yes, I have seen God as clearly as I can see you." So Narendranath was overjoyed. So one day Thakur touched Narendranath on the chest. For some reason, it felt very painful for Narendranath. He kept yelling, "Thakur, Thakur, what is this?" When it was done, Narendranath said, "Thakur, what have you done? Tell me, Thakur, was it God? Tell me." So Thakur explained that all the good that he has done was a power inside him, right? And so he had given that power to Narendranath so he can do good for India too. And one day, Narendranath grew a little bit older. So he thought of India. In that time, India was struggling a lot because the British had now ruled over India. He thought maybe going to America, Chicago, so they could maybe settle it for India. But he didn't know it's time to go. So in the ocean, he found a large rock, and he sat down there meditating for a long time. And then as soon as he opened his eyes, he saw Sri Ramakrishna. He's yelling, "Go, So he knew it was time for him to go to Chicago in America. So he went there. He went there and gave a big, famous speech that caught hold of everyone's attention in America. So once he did that, he got famous. And now he knew, after that great speech of his, he knew that everyone's going to now start to respect India. So one day he returned to India. There was a great big celebration for him. Chariots for him, gifts for him. So when he was riding in a chariot, the men took off the horses and they pulled the chariot by themselves for a great big honor for Swami Vivekananda. Well, but without the British, India was still struggling with some hard things that we might be struggling with. So Swami Vivekananda and his now Narendra Swami Vivekananda. So Swami Vivekananda and his friend monks, they went to India and helped other people when they're poor, sick, or help them with it when they're in trouble with floods or any other disease. So one day, Swami Vivekananda went into a room to meditate. Before he went to meditate, he said to his friend, do not come into the room that I am meditating unless you are called for it. So that's what they did. So then, Swami Vivekananda meditated for 1 hour. Then he called one of his friends. And the friends came. Then he figured out that Swami Vivekananda died. And so now because of Swami Vivekananda's birth and death, we celebrate it at a very special and important day. So how Swami Vivekananda inspired me. Now you heard Swami Vivekananda's life story. How does he inspire you? Swami Vivekananda inspires me by being compassionate, really focused, and being hardworking. We are blessed to have such wise and experienced gurus in this world in our lives. And Swami Vivekananda was one of them.
Hi, my name is Arya Wadigalkar. I am really inspired by Swami Vivekananda's ability to concentrate. Even as a kid, Swamiji had a great concentration. At age 6, he knew by heart the stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata, and even a whole grammar book. When Swamiji grew up, he used to read many books and volumes of encyclopedia in just one day. And the thing is, he used to remember each and every detail in the book, including the page numbers. So, how could Swamiji remember everything so well? And how could he gain so much knowledge and do so much for humanity in such a short time? Well, in the complete works, Swamiji himself gives the answer to these questions. He says that concentration is the secret to gaining all knowledge. No knowledge can be gained unless we concentrate our minds on the subject. It is true that we all concentrate, but it is how much we concentrate that differentiates us. That is what makes some people more successful than others. The more we concentrate on something, the more we will love it. And the more we love something, the more we will concentrate on it. But it is not only the power of concentration that Swamiji wants us to learn. He also wants us to learn the power to detach, so that we can detach from a topic and concentrate on another immediately. Through many other lectures, Swamiji tells us exactly how we can concentrate. Even today, after so many decades passed by, Swamiji continues to inspire us to keep going and be successful in whatever we do. By practicing his teachings, we can definitely all reach our goals, even our goal in life, which is to see God and realize who we really are. Thank you.